The lightsaber props that you see in Ryan vs. Dorkman 2 were created by myself, as were actually the ones in RvD1.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten some experience with metalworking tools such as a lathe and mill, and that's mainly what it's all done on. So it's all stuff actually I machined out of aluminum stock and sort of put together in various pieces, and it's all equipped to handle stunt blades, which is there's a couple places online where you can go to look. I'll get into that in a second, I guess. But so yeah, I designed the sabers, I built the sabers, and the blades that we use, I recommend to people who ask, and that is a frequently asked question for me, definitely, is to go to your local hardware stores and look around for aluminum tubing, which is better than wood or something like that. It's pretty cheap. It's not that expensive, and it's lightweight. It will put up with a good amount of abuse. Eventually it'll sort of bend and get dings in it, and you can sort of force it back and get a lot of life out of it, but eventually everything pretty much breaks. I mean, there's nothing you can have out there that's indestructible. Carbon fiber, which we actually used on Ryan vs. Dorkman 2, is about as close as you can get. It's really good stuff, and we didn't break a single blade in the whole course of filming Ryan vs. Dorkman 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it is expensive.
It's like $30 a blade.
Yeah. It comes out of a place.
They're tubes, but we call them blades because that's what we use them for.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they have many applications, of course, and we use them specifically, for this. But yeah, expensive stuff, but worth it if you're really serious and you really want to get some hardcore stuff. But for most people, aluminum tubing is a good way to go. And if you have no budget at all, if you're just a kid out there and you have nothing, I'll recommend get 3/4 inch, dowel or aluminum tubing, and just get whatever you have. Just get some silver duct tape in the aisle, a couple aisles over, and just wrap tons of it around the bottom, and it'll look like a handle or something. Or go get some of the plumbing stuff. There's tutorials online if you go on Google and search around, or a place called do a search for Big Yellow Box, and they've got all these things you can do with just plumbing equipment and stuff like that to put together. Or Travis Bowles actually has look for him on YouTube, and he's just put up a tutorial about how he retrofitted some of the Attack of the Clones Hasbro props to remove the blade and put in PVC pipe and secure it in there, and it's that worked for them, and it can work pretty well.
FB Travis, that's his username. That's how you can find it.
FB Travis, yeah. And yeah, he's got a YouTube tutorial. It's a few minutes long. He shows you everything, how to put it together. It's really good. It can be a good solution for if you have no budget, but you do have toys. So
worth noting, he was our camera operator on RvD2, so
yes,
give him some love.
Of course. Sorry. Do we want to say anything else about sabers?
Oh yeah. If you're Ryan made the sabers himself, as he said. But since then, he's no longer has access to the equipment that he was using at the time.
Yeah, for a short time I did actually open a small business called sabershop.com, and it still exists. There's nothing on it. I haven't updated it in forever. But I used to when I had the opportunity back home with my family in my family's garage is where all this shop stuff was, and I could build these things. And unfortunately I don't have access there because I live down here in LA. That's up in the San Francisco area. And so I can't build sabers all the time, unfortunately. I'd like to, and I know there's a lot of people asking about if I can make a saber for them, if they can get one like ours or stuff like that. And unfortunately, I don't have any to sell, and I can't get a lot of time off of work to go just make sabers.
Yeah, but we're looking down in LA to see if we can find a machine shop or someone with the equipment that we can use. So if you're interested in lightsabers, sparring sabers like we used in RvD1 and RvD2, give us an email at us@ryanvsdorkman.com. Put Saber Shop in your subject line, and we'll put together a mailing list. And if we get the opportunity to make some more sabers and put them up for sale, then we'll give everyone an email and let you guys know. And if there's anyone out there in the LA area who has that kind of equipment, who has a machine shop or anything like that, that's willing to help us out, us at RyanVsDorkman.com, let us know, and we'll try to get something going.
Make some sabers.
The lightsaber effects were done in Adobe After Effects, as we mentioned before, using a rotoscoping. It's not really the rotoscoping is not a particular technique, but using a glow technique that Ryan developed some years ago. He's got a very general, basic tutorial for how to do it in After Effects on his website, ryan-w.com, along with tutorials for a bunch of other effects like the flashes when they clash together, and he's got a Force Lightning tutorial up there, I think. Is that yours, or are you linked to?
Yeah, it's not mine. It's Pixel Magic.
Okay, he's linked to a Force Lightning tutorial.
Go to ryan-w.com and go to the tutorial section, and in there there's a whole list of things, and I've got several tutorials on lightsabers, including the first couple. There's a big written tutorial. That's the one on the top, and that just goes step by step, telling you how to do it in After Effects. And then a second one, which is some of the other stuff like contact flashes, flickering, making it turn on and off, and stuff like that. And that goes through everything. I have other video tutorials on there too, which people they look at, and I just use a picture as an example, not footage.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't. A lot of people sort of think that you can't do it on video. That because I demonstrate how to do simple animation to get you started, because I'm sort of assuming that you have fundamental understanding of how to keyframe, how to animate, how to rotoscope in After Effects, when I guess maybe I shouldn't. But if you take those principles just of the animation and that, you can do it on video and just go straight through. But if you need a little more instruction step by step, go to the text ones. I have pretty much every step in there, so it should walk you through it.
But if you need a video one, we've been talking for some time about doing possibly a more comprehensive video tutorial. So keep an eye out on our website, ryanvsdorkman.com, and we may get something like that out in the near future.
The wall effects, yes. That's definitely one of my frequently asked questions. That's coming into my inbox a lot. Okay, the wall stuff is all done in After Effects 2. All of our visual effects...
Well, After Effects 6 or 7, not After Effects 2. He means After Effects as well.
Oh, yeah, I said
just so
2.
you don't get
okay,
just so you don't get confused as to version numbers. The most recent version of After Effects.
Yeah, in fact, that's also a question I get, is what version did we use? And to be honest, it's not that relevant. As long as you've got one that was made relatively recently, I'm talking like anything version 6 or beyond is fine. You can do lightsabers in any of those versions.
You can do lightsabers in versions back to 4.
Yeah, all it really is just a solid masking and blurring, which has been around since the dawn of After Effects.
Probably.
So, not a problem. Whatever version you have, it's going to work. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot of really elaborate stuff going on in the effects involved in the wall effects. The tricky part in that is the tracking. So there was kind of some elaborate 3D tracking involved in that, but all the damage, which is all digital, there was actually no marks or track dots or damage to the wall on set. It is all digital. It's all virtual. And it's essentially, for those who are really curious about this, and there's apparently a lot, it's essentially taking, I took a mask for the damage, used that to sort of stroke, it's under the stylize or generate or something like that.
Stylize.
Yeah, well, it might depend on, I think in 7 they might have moved.
Oh, now that depends on the version. See, there you go.
Everything's still there. They did move some things around, like color balance is no longer an adjust. I don't think there's an adjust anymore. It's under
image control.
Image control, yes. Or image adjust or something. Anyway.
Everyone without After Effects cares so much right now.
Yeah, this is awesome. Fast forward about 2 minutes. Go ahead. So, okay, basically the wall damage is you've got your basic core damage that's just a black squiggle. I stroked it and then I did like a turbulent displace on it. Then there's another one under it which is stroked out, and that's sort of gray, the color of the wall. And then this is all put on there. That's also turbulent displaced. And then there's basically just like a bevel alpha and then a drop shadow at alternating directions. So it's kind of like the bevel alpha is a thing like if you had a picture, it would do like the picture frame thing in like early HTML where it's kind of like white here and then black here on the edges. It just looks for edges and then brightens one direction and darkens another direction. And that is enough to really help it feel like it's something 3D and has like texture. and then the drop shadow is just to sort of give sort of a dark.
Yeah, you're creating a fake highlight and a fake shadow, and then creating a dark area to make it feel like it's popping out as well.
Right.
And creating a shadow.
So, of course, the tedious part is animating it if you're having a shot where stuff is being cut, like in the big shot where you go and then come over. You have to go frame by frame and try to match it. Now, fortunately, After Effects, when you have a in After Effects is 3D space, when you have a plane that's sort of out, in the world here, and you draw a mask on it, you are drawing in 3D on that thing. If you draw a circle on a sphere, or a plane that's sort of tilted, when you look at it flat, it's going to be all stretched out because it is obeying the way that you are drawing on there. So in that regard, it's a little bit easier. But anyway, so there's all that damage stuff. The sparks, as we said, were filmed elements on black. We did with Detonation Films, and so that was just sort of placing those in and trying to track them to sort of move with the wall. And then the glowing is basically that same damage that you create again, but colorized to be totally, red, orange, and then applied onto it with a blur and some sort of additive mode like screen or
add.
Color dodge or add, or several times sometimes. I mean, whatever. And that's also animated to sort of, disappearing and go away and stuff. But there's no 3D involved. It's all 2D tricks, and you can kind of tell on some of the shots where we're really on edge and stuff's going by. You can kind of see that there's not a whole lot of depth to it, but I think it works for most of the shots we did.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
If you want to know more about the visual effects or kind of see how it's put together beyond just us talking about it, to really see how all of these layers come together, especially if you don't have After Effects and you don't understand anything we just said, make sure you pick up our behind the scenes DVD. We're going to have a breakdown, a visual effects breakdown, shot by shot of the more significant shots, so you can really see what all went into making those shots, what they were from what they started as.
Yeah, we'll show them to you raw, and then we'll show sort of various steps, the tracking phase, the damage by itself, stuff like that. I'll render out a bunch of stuff, and check it out.
Be good stuff.